Hello, Nevada County. During September and October, I'm going to be focused on the rather fraught local topic of housing. At the end of each segment, I offer an email address where you can contact me to provide feedback or ideas. And if you'd like to point out a local policy, proposed ordinance, action, or inaction, please contact me about it. Today, I'm going to focus on a proposed Nevada City Municipal Code update called the Cottage Dwelling Development Ordinance. This ordinance was proposed by city staff to the Planning Commission last year in response to Nevada City Council's request to come up with a way to increase affordable housing available in Nevada City. And such housing needed to be affordable by design, not deed restriction. In other words, rather than saying to a housing developer, hey, developer, you need to make, say, 25% of the units of your new development affordable to very low, and moderate income folks, staff needed to find a way to encourage the building of houses that were affordable in their very design. And the only realistic way to do that, given our real estate market prices are pretty much based on square footage around here, is to make them small. In exchange for making small dwellings on their properties, the developers would be incentivized with less red tape and lower fees. For example, the ordinance and AB 1600 development fees assume that the average local homeowner can afford a 1,500 square foot house. And here's how a cottage dwelling development would work. For people of very low income, a 500 square foot cottage would be built. And since 500 is a third of 1,500, the fee would be a third of the average single-family dwelling fee. For people of low income, a 750 square foot cottage would be built, and since 750 is half of 1,500, the fee would be half of the average single-family dwelling fee. And for people of moderate income, a 1,000 square foot cottage would be built, and since 1,000 is 2/3 of 1,500, the fee would be 2/3 of the average single-family dwelling fee. Make sense? So the idea here is to mix and match these cottages in order to fulfill what would be allowable on a parcel. In a theoretical world, if a 1,500 square foot building is allowable on a parcel, you, the developer, could build, say, a very low and a moderate, or two lows. Since the occupancy is presumed to be on average 2 adults per house for planning purposes, suddenly you've tripled or doubled the amount of people with dwellings on that one parcel. I specified theoretical world because this ordinance is not being proposed for R1 zoning, R1 being, of course, single-family residential zoning. For now, the proposal is targeting R2 and R3 zoning. Currently, R2 is meant to accommodate up to 8 housing units per acre, and R3 is meant for 16. Another part of the proposal is that those density numbers would increase significantly when a cottage dwelling development was proposed for an R2 or R3 parcel. The highest possible density here, represented by acreage containing R3 parcels, is 32 units per acre of 500 square foot properties, intended to be affordable at a very low income level. Currently, Nevada City R2 and R3 zoning comprise a total of 28.77 acres, most of that being R2. If my math is right, this ordinance, implemented with R2 and R3 zoning, would mean adding up to 541 new dwellings to Nevada City. Last month, Nevada City Planner Amy Wolfson presented the ordinance in front of the current Planning Commission in order to seek clarity on a question. Commercial zoning typically allows for R2 in addition to, retail stores, office space, spas, the commercial stuff. They wanted to know if, when doing the CEQA report on the ordinance for a full, juicy, numbers-laden presentation, they should include commercial due to its R2 allowance. Ultimately, it was decided that commercial definitely should not be included, and that staff should try to retool the cottage dwelling development ordinance so that it would not be a sweeping change to zoning implementations. In other words, kind of back to the drawing table. The ordinance does have a lot of support from affordable housing advocates across the county, including the Nevada County Association of Realtors and the Youth Continuum of Care, so expect to see this idea pop up again soon. It has been my privilege to bring you a brief piece on a local political issue. Again, I'm dedicating September and October to local housing. Email me at ncnpolitics@gmail.com to comment on this piece or suggest a topic for future segments. And remember, when it comes to politics, if you're not at the table, you might be on the menu. Thanks for staying informed, Nevada County.